How
How
are
are
you?
you?
How are you today?
Good, good. This is
Great.
my first meeting for the day.
Okay, excellent. Where are you located?
I'm in Utah, Salt Lake City.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. I'm in
Yeah.
Kansas City.
Oh, nice.
So,
So what do you do?
well, I have a jazz radio show, but I also have famous interviews and I interview professionals and interesting people from all over the world.
Okay, okay, nice.
Yeah. So it's two separate entities, but that's kind of the gist. So we're just going to kind
Okay,
of dive into your life and what makes you who you are, what motivates you, and those kinds of things. Just an easygoing kind of conversation.
okay. No
So,
worries.
all right, cool. Well, hey, again, it's great to meet you. And to begin the conversation, I want to start off with what we all lived through for the last 3.5 years, which was a pandemic. And how did you get through it? And how has it changed things for you now that we're kind of in this post-pandemic era?
Yeah, so the pandemic was interesting. So the I had two problems. One, I had a, a father who was sick and he was overseas, and he was getting sicker because he couldn't get treatment for his cancer.
Okay.
Because there was all this lockdown. But at home, I had to keep things going. So I had quit my job and started writing a book, which is how my book came to be, The Business Case for AI. And I was keeping afloat just by taking walks, hikes, and trying to do things that will keep me not going, so to say, in a depressed mode. Yeah, so just
Yeah.
making the most out of the outdoors. But at the same time, I was worried about my dad, whom I couldn't visit, and he was abroad. So, but we managed to get through it, and yeah, he eventually, just recently, he had passed away, and because of the cancer,
Yeah.
and yeah, so just I think I would say 2022 is when I started getting back more into the normal mode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the worst part of the whole process
Yeah.
was losing people and having to go
Yeah.
through things that were already adding fire to what was already happening, you know.
Yes. And
So,
finally, why he really passed away was because of COVID. He got
oh,
COVID while being a cancer patient who's compromised, whose
yeah.
immunity is compromised. Yeah.
Yeah. And that was the trick. I know there was a lot of people that had to be very careful that had anything that could have triggered anything. So I'm
Yeah.
sorry to hear that, but um so I'm curious when I look at your resume and all of the
Mhm.
aspects of what you do, there's a lot that's going on. So to simplify it just a little bit, I want to put you in front of a bunch of third graders. It's career day, and one of the
Mhm.
kids looks up and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How would you answer that child?
Oh, interesting question. Well, I develop intelligent bots like Google search, YouTube search. So things that you're already searching for, I develop things like that with intelligence behind the scenes, like robot-like intelligence. So that's what I do. And it's in the form of software, not the hardware.
Okay. So when you were in the third grade, what did you want to be? What was your dream to grow up and become?
Yeah, I think I was interested in engineering from the very beginning.
Okay.
And then as I got into teenagehood, I was developing a lot of software on my own. So that got me in that computer science trajectory, which
Okay.
is how I'm here today.
Yeah. So let's go back to the beginnings of your life. Where were you born and raised? And what were these seeds that were put into you to want to be in technology, to develop software?
Yeah, so I was raised in Malaysia, born and raised in Malaysia. And my dad was an engineer. And I think seeing him, I got that inspiration to do things that he's doing. And also, I had a grandma who used to say, "You need to be doing engineering. You need to be doing engineering." So that planted they planted the seeds, and I really I think was good in solving like problems and logic. So engineering was a natural thing for me to get into.
So is your preference Mac or Windows?
Mac or Windows, I would say applications of Mac.
Okay.
So applying math to do things.
I've always heard that when they developed those operating systems, Macintosh was made for the regular people. It was easy to use, it made sense, whereas Microsoft was made for more accounting people, people that were in hardcore business. Have you ever heard that?
Yes. And I actually started liking Mac when I was forced to use it to do some of my programming work. And then I
Yeah.
started to really like it because it was a natural way of programming. It has the terminal where you can easily run things and
Yeah.
you don't have to like open up other software. You can just do things from the command line.
Yeah, you're totally right. That's true. Terminal is very effective and easy to get to and to run what you need to get done.
Yeah.
It's almost like with Microsoft, you have to almost be like a Da Vinci Code warrior in a book where you have to crack a code and find it and do all these
Yeah.
special things.
Yeah. They're trying to match up with Mac, but it's not as intuitive.
Right. I get that. So
Yeah.
clearly you are in support of AI. It's a part of what you do. For anybody out there that's skeptical because AI has become the main thing that everybody's thinking about and talking about, how would you calm down skeptics and make sure they understand that AI is actually a good thing for us?
So AI can be a good thing, but it also can be a bad thing. So there's a
Right.
bad side to AI. So the good thing is it can help us in the productivity side. So to write an email, maybe it can rephrase some of your words or proofread for you. And that proofreading is really, really um, time consuming, but the AI system can do it in real time, really. As you're typing, it's proofreading.
Yeah.
So you can augment a lot of workflows like that. Like even voice search behind the scenes, it's AI. It's taking your voice, translating it to text, and then feeding it to Google. So it really makes things, makes our lives easier. But at the same time, you have the bad actors who could use AI for really bad things, like say in a war setting, they can use AI to hyper target people and attack them from far. So you can do a lot of harm just by using AI.
So let me ask you this. Who's been kind of an inspiration or a hero for you in your life and your work and everything that you are?
Um, I would say my dad has been a big role model. Like I see him working hard and um, see him really expand his business, which is how I got my ideas to have my own business. So I would say he has had a big influence in my life, and also all the professors and teachers in my life. My PhD advisor, he taught me how to think how deeply about problems and also how to be a good person while doing that. Like you don't have to be this mean professor and do AI. You can actually be a really good person. He let me do my PhD partially remotely, and no professor does that. And so he taught me both kindness and deep problem solving thinking. Yeah, so a lot of people have influenced me, but I would say the two most prominent will be my dad and the professors in my life.
So if you can meet one person alive on the planet right now, whether it's in technology or otherwise, who would you love to meet and talk to?
Um, well, maybe Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would you like to ask him?
What is he thinking? What is he really thinking? Like what's all this I mean, is this just to get attention or are these really your thoughts? Like
Ah,
whatever all the drama that he's creating in the media, I'd like to know if it's really what he's thinking or it's just for attention.
okay. All right. That's probably one of the best questions that I've ever heard anybody say that they would ask him because I'm curious too. Because Twitter's just really like a ship that's sinking. Like no one wants to
Yeah.
do it.
Mhm.
He's charging fees. He's doing
Mhm.
everything that's anterior. He's changed the logo, changed the name. It's like he intentionally wants to kill it off.
Yeah, yeah. So I want to get to the depth of what he's really doing
Yeah.
and why. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this: what is your motivation every day to do the work that you do? What gets you out of bed? What gets you to want to accomplish your goals and to help people?
Yeah, so for me, it's a combination of a few things. One is I love helping people. And two is I love this whole AI problem solving aspect. So being a consultant combines both of these qualities. So to me, getting up and working with the people I work with, getting their projects ahead, really keeps me going. It keeps me intellectually going and learning. So that's a critical aspect. So I'm constantly learning. And I'm learning on the business side of things. I'm learning new AI stuff. I'm learning a lot of things that I wouldn't have learned by just being an employee. So
So
that's what
what? Yeah, no, I get it for sure. So what has been one of your best success stories as a professional? One that always puts a smile on your face?
um I would say when a client comes to me with a very vague problem, and I'm able to take that problem, solve it for them, and then they actually have a working AI solution. And doing that multiple times has been very rewarding. Like now I know for sure that my thinking is on the right path, and I'm able to do it again and again and again and see them progress. So really um that really gets me going.
So let me ask you this, AI has been around for a while. We've had Google Home, we've had Alexa, we've had all these devices and things, Siri, but why do you think it is all of a sudden now it's the thing that everybody's talking about? It's becoming more prevalent. How did that happen?
So I think a lot of it is due to the people attached to it. So it's all these big figures, it's Microsoft, it's OpenAI, and they're getting a lot of publicity from generative AI. So right, within 3 months they got like millions of users sign up to ChatGPT,
Yeah.
and that was like you don't really see such adoption. But you saw that with ChatGPT. So just the fact that there are so many people using ChatGPT gets others interested in ChatGPT, and everybody wants a piece of the pie. So either they're trying to make money out of ChatGPT, or they're trying to use it in some way to improve their LinkedIn post or something. So I think it's a lot of it is due to FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yeah.
So they're trying to keep up with what's happening.
So let me ask you this. If you had a dream tonight, you ran into a much younger version of yourself, say, when you were graduating high school, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom that you've gained in your life up to this point, what advice would you give your younger self?
I would say um, limit the self-doubt, because the self-doubt is limiting. I find it crippling, actually. So when you limit the self-doubt, you can actually do a lot more, and you have confidence in what you do. So that's what I would tell myself, because I used to criticize myself a lot. Like up until recently, I'll be like, you could have done better, you could have said more things, but really it was okay. I did okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So of all the things that you've done and accomplished and overcome up to this point, what are you the proudest of?
I would say getting rid of employment and getting into the business arena, although it's very risky. I managed to build something which I'm continuing to build. So I would say that's my biggest um, professional accomplishment.
So as a writer, what was the first book that you ever read that really made you want to either read more or become a writer someday?
Yeah, there was this book called One Page Marketing Plan. So that book really got me thinking about this whole business thing in a more in-depth, and also the way the writer presented his ideas showed me that books have impact, and I can impact others using this vehicle, which is a portable vehicle. So that book really got me started into reading more, and reading more got me into wanting to write.
Yeah.
So that's how the progression went.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, all these people in your life, family,
Mhm.
friends, clients, colleagues, but you ultimately are in control. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
I think I'm a person who likes to see others succeed. It could be my mom, it could be my husband, it could be anyone, but I'm always trying to help them succeed in what they are doing. So that's who I see myself as.
So if anyone wants to pick up the business case for AI, learn more about you, reach out to you, anything about your world, where can they go?
First to my website, it's my first name, Kavitaâ-Ganesan.com. And they can also find me on Amazon or LinkedIn.
Excellent. Kavita, thank you so much for your story. Thank you for your time. This was wonderful. Best of luck with everything.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Joe.
Thank you. Take care.